Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe, and in today's video we're going to be doing another discussion video for today. We're going to be going over some news and an article from Screen Rant where they go over the possibility of a Walking Dead reunion show. Now, we got a little bit of information from this one. Gimple kind of made an update on the idea, and I am glad he is still updating people because, to me, this is the necessary direction of all of these existing spin-offs right now, which I've mentioned many times before. I've seen a lot of different franchises over the last couple years, and I gotta say, every single one of them I've seen seems to have a direction of some kind. The Walking Dead seems so, just, you can't tell where it's going these days. You can't really tell where things are going to be heading towards, you know what I mean? And we know that they plan on at least doing a couple more seasons of each of these spin-off shows, that being Dead City and Daryl Dixon. But what happens after, right? What happens after the event? Now, obviously, with this article right here, the one thing that really stood out to me right away is that Gimple said that it is something he wants to do. He does like the idea, but he does say that the only way that this can work is getting every single one of the cast members back together, which he says is a bit of a challenge. That's the challenge that you created, my guy. I can't really have much sympathy for that. He says the one big thing that is holding this whole thing back is not sure if he's going to be able to get all of the actors back. Again, this is his problem, you know what I mean? Because, again, he had an opportunity to get all the cast members together, you know what I mean? Angela Kang wanted to end The Walking Dead the way that she wanted to end it, and then Gimple forced her into doing all these spin-off shows and cliffhangering the original series and not giving all of these characters a proper conclusion. So this is his fault. I mean, it's his fault, you know? He could have ended the original series with all of our characters together the way it was supposed to end, and then we wouldn't have this problem, you know what I mean? So I disagree when he says that, oh yeah, it's going to be so difficult to do that. And I'm like, well, you created this. You know, you're the one that sent Morgan out there to go find Rick again. You're the one that did Rick's own series, which I love The Ones Who Live, but again, you cliffhanger the original series for us to watch that, you know what I mean? So it's his mess that he created. So it's difficult for me to actually sit there and say oh yeah, that makes total sense. I'm like, well, listen, you could have just brought them all together before, and then we wouldn't have this problem. We probably would have been done concluded with our main group, and we would have had probably a satisfactory ending, you know what I mean? So again, it's not really something that I can kind of back up and defend fully, because again, I feel like he could have done this already. So I don't know. That's kind of a tough one. Although, in the other angle of it, I will agree that yes, you do need all these characters together in order for a Season 12 scenario, a crossover scenario to work. You can't have anything like this and let's say Daryl's not involved, or let's say Morgan's not involved, or Rick isn't there, you know what I mean? You gotta have everybody. And I understand that is a lot of money because these actors are bigger than they were, let's say 5-10 years ago when it was easier to get them all on the same screen together. You know what I mean? Nowadays, these actors are huge. Denai is a massive actress. Norman is in everything right now. You've got so many different actors in so many different places. Jeffrey D. Morgan, Lauren Cohan, Andrew Lincoln. It's all such an insane thing, but that's the problem. You need to get these actors back together and do a reunion show before it's too late and the actors are so expensive that you're not able to bring these characters together. That's why I'll always say that these spinoffs should not have happened right now. They should have done these spinoffs at a different time because I do believe that we should have had a resolution to these characters before it got too difficult to bring them back together, because now we may not ever get that opportunity, you know what I mean? And to me, that's something that needs to happen. Anybody that tells me that they don't need the characters to come back together, you obviously are not a big Walking Dead fan, because that is literally what they've set up for years now. They've set up Daryl finding Rick, all the hard things that Daryl went through to find Rick. They're setting up Morgan trying to find Rick. They set up, of course, all these characters, Negan, Dwight, where the hell is Dwight? We don't know, you know what I mean? There's all these characters in all these different spots, yet their stories are somewhat connected, but they're not connected. You know what I mean? It's you got Dwight talking about Negan 24/7. You got, Morgan talking about finding Rick 24/7. There's these little ties that they're not doing. So, in other words, we have to get all the actors together, and it sounds like that's the thing that's holding him back, is that it'll be difficult to get all the actors together. Like I said, It would be. But if you didn't create this mess, Gimple, then we wouldn't have this type of problem. You know what I mean? There's shows like Dexter, and there's shows, like this, that are out there right now. Dexter, Fallout, Last of Us, that are not under that weight because they didn't force a spin-off show, and they're not forcing it down your throat. You know what I mean? That's why some of those shows are successful, is because those shows, like I listed, Dexter, Last of Us, Fallout, others like that, they're not forcing you to watch spin-offs on your favorite characters just so that you can watch your favorite characters. And to me, that's really all there is to it. I think that though the spinoffs have been entertaining, I do think they have been entertaining shows. If you want to bring the characters together, if you want to do a crossover event of some kind, yeah, you got to get the actors all back together. And if you didn't create the mess that you already created by them being scattered around and some of them being concluded, I would say that it would be easier for you to do something like this. So Gimple is nobody to blame but himself. I mean, I'm sorry, but he does. He cliffhangered the original series. He forced spin-offs on people. And now all of a sudden it's difficult to get all these characters together. And that's supposed to be like, oh my God, well then I guess we gotta wait. Like, guys, like, come on, really? Like, honestly, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's like asking a little kid to take a little toy truck of his and not throw it down the stairs. You know what I mean? You know he's gonna do it because he's young and he doesn't know better. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, why'd you throw that down the stairs? It flew out of my hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what Gimple's acting like right now. It's like, well, of course it would be difficult to get all these actors together. You have waited so long. Now you're going to try to get all these actors back together that are worth all this money and say that it's somehow difficult now. Yeah, you should have done this when you had the actors together in the first place. You know what I mean? If you didn't cliffhanger the original series, if you had all the actors together, and if you didn't, try to force spin-offs down people's throat, then maybe you could have had a nice resolution to your series. Hell, Breaking Bad wrapped up in 2022, and you notice that's it, because Breaking Bad brought all their actors together for the final season of Better Call Saul. They brought them all in, they did what mattered, and they ended their franchise when they had the chance. This is running too long to where now it's too difficult to get your actors back all together on the same screen. And if that's the reason why they're not doing the crossovers, because it's too expensive to get all the actors on one screen, then all I'm saying, Gimple, you screwed up, buddy. You screwed up. And now you're going to have to live with that, because now fans are going to be upset because they're not getting the crossover that they want, that you clearly set up. You know what I mean? So I have two requests here. One is either honestly give up your franchise or lend it to someone else because you're not doing your job. Or, second off, is do the darn crossover with as many characters as you can and give us a conclusion to these characters that we all deserve to see. Because, again, you don't start a story with a beginning, middle, and nothing. A story goes like this: beginning, middle, and end. And I think we've reached that beginning, middle, and close to end. But the final page is getting ripped. The final page of the book is getting ripped out of our hands, is basically what The Walking Dead is. The Walking Dead is a book. You read it from beginning, middle, and they ripped the last page out. You know what I mean? You can see the ending. You can see that the book is clearly over, but the page is missing. So you're like, damn it, there's a little page missing there. Like, oh crap, can't finish my story quite. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So that's The Walking Dead for you right there. It's a book with a ripped out final page. That's what it really is right now. And we can't find that final page because it's too much of a task to find the final page. That's basically what Gimple is telling us right now, people. That's what he's telling us. So, anyway, that is the current state. That's the idea for a Walking Dead Season 12. That's a little update from Gimple. I like to talk about that when I can. I don't like talking about it because I think it's ridiculous that you can't bring the characters that we all know and love back together on a TV show to wrap everything up, and you should have ended it back in 2022 so that you're not in a dilemma you're in right now. You know what I mean? So, is what it is, man. Again, the spinoffs are entertaining, but is it worth jeopardizing the fact that maybe we can't get the actors back together for a real conclusion? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So, I don't know. That's just me. I care about the Walking Dead family. I care about the people that matter. I care about Rick, Morgan, their reunion, Rick and Daryl's reunion. I care about all these characters, Dwight and Negan. I care about Maggie seeing Rick. I care about Carol seeing Rick. I care about all these characters. I want to see them together. And if it's too difficult to get these actors together because you waited so long, That's you. That's not us. That's you. So, there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments down below, guys. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe button to miss any other videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Views Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of the Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies need a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.